Hello out there in internet land. Welcome to another D&D live stream. Today we'll be playing the second session of the Lich Queen's Beloved, a high-level adventure designed by Chris Perkins that originally appeared in Dungeon number 100. We played one session previously, and it's been about a month since we played last, so everyone might be a little bit rusty, so you'll have to forgive us on that matter. Before we go too much further, I do have to mention the thing that legal makes us say every time, which is that by watching this broadcast, you are agreeing to participate in our playtest process and are agreeing to the terms of our online playtest agreement. The terms of which can be found at www.dndnext.com. Additionally, we are adults in an adult environment and may occasionally use some adult language, so please, if you have anyone that might be sensitive to such language around, you have been forewarned. With that, I think we're ready to recap what happened last time. So previously in the Lich Queen's Beloved, a ragtag group of morally ambiguous heroes all arrived at the city of Tunarath, a floating city deep in the astral plane that serves as the capital city and home to the Githyanki. The group had been summoned by Zetcherer, the leader of a rebellious organization known as the Shasalku, who had invited them to his fortress stronghold on Tunarath and asked them to undertake a mission to infiltrate the Palace of Whispers and slay the Lich Queen herself, Vlaakith. After some debate as to whether or not the party should actually go through with this or should instead kill Zetcherer and turn him over to the Lich Queen as a rebel, they decided instead to go with the mission that he had laid out for them and had headed towards the Palace of Whispers to infiltrate it and slay the Lich Queen. In the guise of Githyanki, thanks to a seeming spell cast by the mage, they passed through the necropolis, leading towards the giant statue of Gith at the base of the Palace of Whispers, where they will supposedly be able to teleport into the palace. However, along the way, they formulated a plan to attack a group of Githyanki in the necropolis and then use them as a reason or as an excuse to infiltrate the palace. Luckily for them, after about 5 hours of laying in wait, a group of Githyanki, a Chirai Inquisitor, and a few other Githyanki that looked sort of like Red Dragon Githyanki hybrids approached, escorting a battered and bruised Githyanki. They jumped this group, killed them all except for the captive, and at the end of last session, you guys had decided not only to take a short rest and rest for an hour, allowing you to bandage yourselves up and spend some hit dice, you also decided to cast another seeming spell, this time changing your disguises to look like this band of Chirai headed towards the palace, and we're planning on waking up the captive and asking him some questions to hopefully solidify your reason for infiltrating the Palace of Whispers. So with that recap ready to go, I want to start out by allowing the players a chance to reintroduce themselves. So we'll actually go ahead and start with you, Chris. I want you to tell everybody who you are, what you do here, and tell us who your character is.
My name is Chris Sims. I'm a technical editor for Dungeons & Dragons, and my character is Ozu Gauri, or Ozu, a half-orc assassin.
Yes, you. Go next, sir.
My name is Tom Olson. I'm on R&D with Dungeons & Dragons, focusing primarily on digital projects such as Arena of War, and I can now say Lords of Waterdeep for the iPad. I am playing Aelford Shacklesmith, a dwarven cleric who considers himself a Hammer of Moradin and is one of the non-Githyanki members of the Shasal Pool, which was the group. So he was for following this mission.
Yeah, you had previously served Zetcherer, as I recall. Yeah.
What was the first name?
Aelforged.
Hi, I'm Matt Cern. I'm a designer for D&D, and I'm playing Vathos, a human wizard.
So we did have Mike Merles with us last time, playing the dwarf fighter MC Kills-A-Lot, but unfortunately Mike couldn't make it today, so sitting in his place is Greg.
I'm Greg Billsland. I'm a producer on Dungeons & Dragons. I work a lot with our organized play programs, our conventions, and also with the D&D Next project.
Okay, so it's also entirely possible that I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Rodney Thompson. I am a designer on Dungeons & Dragons. I was a designer on Lords of Waterdeep, and I am currently a designer on D&D Next. So with introductions made, I think it's time for us to go ahead and jump in. One thing I did want to point out is we are testing some of the new interaction rules and some of the new role-playing benefits that we're exploring for D&D Next. And last time when we left off, Chris had managed to earn what we call inspiration. So Chris, I'm going to give you an inspiration die here to keep track of that. Chris earned the inspiration for role-playing out one of his negative character traits, his flaw, as it were, in the interactions with Zetcherer, basically allowing his role-playing to work somewhat to the party's detriment. But for that good role-playing, I rewarded him with inspiration, which he can now use to either gain advantage on a check or attack or something related to one of his character traits, or he can give it to another player for doing something cool or exciting, or basically whatever he wants to do related to sort of like role playing. Okay, so you guys managed to finish your or managed to defeat the Githyanki that you had jumped. You do have the one still living captive Githyanki, and you guys are taking an hour-long rest. During that rest, you're able to bandage yourselves up, and if you want to cast any spells or do anything else, you're welcome to do that during that time. The hour is going to pass uninterrupted, but I believe, Matt, you said that you were going to cast that seeming spell to change everyone's disguises to look like these Githyanki that you just jumped.
Yeah, and we had some plan to interrogate the guy so that we'd figure out what the heck we're going in for.
Yes. Basically what you wanted to do, according to what you said last time, was you wanted to wake him up and ask him a bunch of questions about why he was captured so that you would have all that information at hand when you infiltrate the interior.
But actually, we wanted to kind of trick him.
Well, we were going to disguise ourselves first, then question him, right? Because we didn't want him to know.
Well,
but that's what we were talking about. I don't know if we still want to do that.
asking him kind of leading questions like, are these your friends who attacked us? Stuff like that.
Right.
Just to see if we could get any information that way without revealing who we were.
Right.
And just to be clear, I'm not there.
You are not there yet.
I know.
But soon.
I'm somewhere.
Yes, you're somewhere.
MC Kills a Lot still here?
No, MC Kills a Lot. Unfortunately, you have asked MC Kills a Lot to go report back to Zetcherer on what has happened.
I thought maybe he got a late-breaking concert opportunity to restart his career.
He got a sending from his promoter, and unfortunately was forced.
We've got to get back. We've got a good chance.
That's right.
So, was anybody else injured in the fight? Because I think I'm going to spend some hit dice.
Fine. If you need to, go ahead.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So you guys are, taking your rest and bandaging your wounds in ill-forged case. When a figure begins picking his way cautiously through the necropolis, moving towards you. Unlike the band of Githyanki you'd seen before, this person is clearly not a Githyanki, but is instead a human. Greg, why don't you go ahead and describe your character?
My character is sort of a swarthy-looking fellow, much shorter than a sort of average-sized human. He's only about 5'5". Has an eye patch and a wide-brimmed hat. And
Is it a fabulous hat?
It is fabulous.
Of course.
And,
So for that reason alone, I hide and take a beat on him with my longbow.
Okay, that's fine.
The hat did it.
Yeah, it's the eye patch.
The hat really pushed it over the edge for you? Okay.
Well, I'm aiming at the eye patch.
Okay. Why did I put that bullseye on my eye patch? I don't even know.
has several weapons strapped to his back, but they're covered mostly by a cloak. Dressed fairly finely.
How
but
tall
you can
did you
also
say?
see some
5'5".
armor. Only 5'5". But you
I'm
can
only
see some
5'5",
armor
so-
under his.
Are you a wiry
clothing.
5'5" or a stocky 5'5"?
I'm a stocky 5'5". Yeah.
Did you basically base your character on me? Because I'm about
Also, my name
5'5".
is Rodney.
Yeah.
It's
Come on,
Rodney Lee.
And
Rodney
Lee.
Lee.
Yeah, Rodney Lee.
Rod Neely.
Right, I like it. Let's not do that though. So, anyways, you are picking your way through this necropolis, and you can see the Palace of Whispers floating overhead. But the big thing that dominates the landscape in front of you is, this sort of sea of mausoleums and crypts. But standing up, basically directly at the base of the floating palace, is this massive, like 100-foot tall statue of Gith, the originator of the Gith species, or rather the liberator of the Gith species, as to say. You are picking your way through, and you see this group of, 3 individuals who are, sorry, you are hiding, that's right. You see these 2 individuals who are not hiding. He's like bandaging himself up. But as you're picking your way through, you can see they're clearly not Githyanki. Looks like, they have been in a fight recently, and they have disposed of the bodies by just sort of dragging them off to either side of the road and tucking them away behind like headstones and things like that.
Seems appropriate.
Are there many non-Githyanki in the city?
It's pretty rare that you would ever see a group of non-Githyanki so well armed and armored. The big difference is, though, like you might see them in different parts of Tuneroth, but in the Necropolis area, that's extremely rare, and without an escort, almost unheard of.
Okay.
The Githyanki don't tend to trust outsiders very much, and even the non-Githyanki that live in the city of Tuneroth, even then, like they're allowed to live there, but they have to follow this really strict code of laws. And typically, anytime they go to a sensitive area like the big necropolis would be, they would be escorted by Githyanki.
So I just figured out we can't actually trick the captive that we have. None of us speak the lingo.
I do.
Yeah, he does. He speaks Gith.
Okay. Well, we can actually.
And didn't you have comprehend languages though?
I do, but I can't.
You can't speak it, but you can understand it. Yeah. Okay.
And we heard one of them talk, right? Because we bantered with the Githyanki before we.
Yes, but he spoke in English. Or English.
Well, we know his voice.
Yeah, right. Yes.
The tone
Yeah.
of his
Oh, yeah.
voice. If he hisses or whatever.
Right.
So you can talk as that guy, and you can be whoever that guy was that was talking before. I'll make you into him.
Okay.
The
So I'm the
yeah.
Inquisitor.
Yeah.
When we cast that spell.
Right. And I think if it turns out like whatever, this guy might be an ally, there's no reason to keep him in the dark about everything. But
Well, because we want to find out probably if he's a rebel.
Actually, I just realized something. You're picking your way across this necropolis. These guys look like Githyanki right now, actually. So
Yes,
all that stuff I said about Outlanders and everything, forget all that. They had their seeming spell is still up from
Yeah.
before, actually.
I thought about
last,
it. I think I saw Matt think about it, but neither
last
one was
like
correct.
8 hours. No,
I see that something has happened here.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty clear there's been some kind of skirmish.
Yeah.
There's a Githyanki like on the ground, unconscious, and still shackled. So something funky is going on here. But you're sort of picking your
And
way
he's either
through.
bandaging his wounds or just replacing his half-mummy bandages that Githyanki wear.
That's right. Well, they love their mummy outfits. It's very trendy, actually.
I'm reasonably stealthy, so I am going to stalking among the shadows, trying to make my way toward this group to see what I can see about them. And even if you guys have already seen me,
Yeah. I mean, I figure at a pretty good distance, you probably saw them and they saw you, just because you wouldn't have been known to be hiding that much. So you're kind of aware that each other's there, but you can sort of come creeping up if you want to. Go ahead, and if you're going to try and actually hide from them, go ahead.
no,
Okay.
if I'm curious about what is going on and trusting myself to deal with the situation.
So it's more that you want to be cautious than you
Yeah.
want to. Okay, cool, super. All right. So as you guys are resting, this sort of swarthy-looking character is cautiously picking his way towards you, and you get up to basically there's a road that runs through the necropolis, and this kind of winding, twisting path that.
Hold on one second. Do you have a goatee?
I do not.
Go ahead.
Well, that was what you were concerned about, right? Well, because Greg has clearly based this character on me, right? Anyways. So there's this like winding
Money
path.
chops, though.
Yeah, right. This winding path that makes its way through the necropolis. It looks like basically the necropolis kind of grew out haphazardly, so there's not a lot of rhyme or reason to which way it goes. And picking your way through the crypts and headstones and things like that would take a lot longer, so you kind of follow this twisting path back and forth before it finally rounds the bend towards the long, straight stretch leading up to the statue of Gith, where you can see that these two are sort of, hanging out on the road with the captured Githyanki off to one side, still unconscious. And I'd say you're probably, a couple hundred feet away at this point.
I'll sort of take off my hat and sort of just signal to you guys, obviously noticing that you are not aligned with the Gith, or at least there's a rebel faction, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a rebel faction known as the Chassel Coup. They are led by General Zetcherer. And you know that conflict is sort of coming to a head these days because there's a lot of tension between the Githyanki loyal to Vlaakith, along with her inquisitors, the Chirai, and this faction, the Chassel Coup.
Yeah, and seeing only two of them, I'm not particularly concerned, even if they are adversaries. So
Right.
I'm fairly nonchalant as I come up.
So I sort of look at the wizard and sort of look back, what are the odds he's wearing a disguise? He's a Githyanki disguised as a swarthy
He's a
fellow.
Githyanki disguised as a swarthy pirate.
Yeah, trying to infiltrate our band.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I'm actually,
Ahoy there! I say as I get closer.
really?
And I say, nope, he's not a Githyanki.
That's when I put my bow away and I try to sneak down behind him, drawing my swords.
I'll sort of
Are you actually going to try and sneak up on
nod.
him? Okay, why don't you go ahead and give me your dexterity check to sneak. And Greg, what is your character's wisdom?
That would be 9.
You're human, right?
Half of what most of my other abilities are.
9.
I only rolled a 27.
Okay. You believe that you are able to pick your way stealthily up around and down towards behind where he's coming from.
And as I get closer to you guys, I say, it looked like there's some surreptitious activity happening here, and I wanted to find out what you might know about the Lich Queen.
One moment. And I start casting Detect Magic.
I'll
Oh, don't
nothing-
worry, I usually have that effect on folks. I make them a little uneasy.
Yeah, I can tell why.
if
Alright,
there's
so you're casting Detect Magic?
Yeah. I just want to scan him and see if he just.
Okay. Do you have any spells on you right now or anything?
Nope, just a couple magic weapon and magic armor. So
So they glow, but that's all you say.
And at about this time, those two would probably see me coming up the road very quietly behind him.
Alright. You come creeping up behind him.
I will say that I was sent. Well, we didn't actually have a chance to talk about this, but I'm just going to make it up.
Okay, sure, sounds good.
I was commissioned on behalf of Zetcherer to investigate some of the surrounding territories, and heard that there might be another group wandering about in town.
It's hard enough to say Zetcherer in unaccented.
Yes, Zetcherer.
Zetcherer. Much less throwing the pirate on top of that. That's great.
Would I possibly know if this would be a true story that Zetcherer might actually contract in on?
Oh,
You think he'd scout out?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's contracted you guys
Yeah.
to do his
It seems
bidding
plausible.
here, right?
Yeah.
And you know that Zetcherer is nothing if not cautious, so the idea that he might have a little bit of backup in the area seems very plausible to you.
Yep, and non-Githyanki too, to sort of again keep.
Yeah,
his-
well, as you recall from your meeting with him previously, Zetcherer had said that part of the reason why he wanted you guys to go into the Palace of Whispers is because there's a lot of heat on his Githyanki minions at this point. The Chassel Coup are really being hunted down by the Chirai. So,
Okay.
It appears human.
Yeah, damn straight I'm human.
Well,
At least I don't look like a Githyanki. And I still note that you guys are.
Yeah, all right.
you're a little indignant.
You might know, like Zetcher might have told you that you were going in after basically he's already sent someone else in as well. So that is all you'd know. You probably wouldn't know that it was these guys. You probably wouldn't know that they were non-Githyanki.
So, I mean, a little obstinate. And,
Yeah.
not another tight green skin. I don't know how you live with that. Looks like you've been stretched all over the bone.
And I look at those guys and I point at him and I go,
I'll give a.
So
Here's
here's what
to
you're
make of
seeing.
this situation.
You're standing there and you see these two Githyanki, right? And like one of them just kind of goes, no.
So, what skills do you bring to this mission that you supposedly are on?
and what's the password? I say.
Oh wow, okay, so this voice reminded you. Like,
What the heck was that?
And I get when if he turns around, I have two swords pointed right at his eyes, basically.
You're quieter than a skimmer on a quiet ocean.
Quieter than a quiet thing.
And I'll sort of look a little taken aback for a second, but sorry, I didn't mean to make you uneasy.
What's the password?
Arr. I'll say Zetcher didn't give me any sort of password when I was commissioned to do this. Is that the password?
Seems like the password.
There were only 3 guards that we attacked, right?
there was the Shara Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And then there were 3 of the sort of
Oh, okay.
pseudo, like the Red Dragon Githyanki hybrids.
Right, okay. Yes.
Well, you're just in time. We need a 4th for our mission that we're ready to implement.
Ah, yes, I saw some metal-clad fellow muttering about a concert heading off and down the street. He tried to give me one of his discs. It was very strange. I didn't know what to do with it.
Wow. Okay. The legacy of Mike Morales lives on. Anyhow.
But I'll say,
Those discs are magical weapons.
I just hope he wasn't twerking his way down the street.
For all of our sake, let's hope that wasn't happening. For the sake of good taste, let's hope that wasn't happening.
but I'll level with you. Even though Zetcher hired me to do this, I've got it in for the Lich Queen myself. Got personal business with her and her sort. So I've been looking for fellows who might have an interest in taking her down.
Do you speak Gith?
I speak only common and arr.
And pirate?
That's what R is.
R
is the formal name of the pirate language.
When we get inside, let our companion do the talking.
Will do. I'm more of the hitting sort anyway.
So
Alright.
shall we wake the prisoner up before or after we change our disguise?
I think we should change it and then.
We have already changed our disguise.
No, we're still the
again.
previous.
Oh, okay. We're still the previous Githyanki.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have not changed to the people we whacked.
Oh, so you got the magic user with you then.
Maybe.
Are you not Githyanki then?
Maybe.
So yes.
So I'll cast the seeming spell again now.
Okay.
I will cast an illusion. Accept it.
Oh, you're going to make me look like all of you, aren't you? Oh dear.
And I'll make us look like
Can I keep my hat?
No. It will be invisible. The 3 guards
okay.
and look like the Inquisitor.
All right, sure. Okay, so the 3 of you, the illusion appears on all 3 of you that transforms you looking like the draconic Githyanki, and you in turn
Where's
look
the
like.
Inquisitor's sword? Or do I have an illusory sword?
You could pick up his sword
Yeah,
off the
you can
ground.
pick his
Right?
sword.
Like it's not anything special.
Okay.
It is one of the Githyanki silver swords, though.
I'll, if you're ready, I'll wake the prisoner.
As ready as I'm going to be.
Alright.
I thought that Bathos had a point about not being able to trick this guy, but
Well, let's try.
Well,
But
I
then
think
let's find out who he is, because what we could do is maybe we can do the trick where we loosen his bonds, and if we get into a tight spot, he can join us in battle. I mean, it's in his best interest to side with us to get out of the...
I mean, I don't think he's going to want to go in. That's part of it. Once he knows that we're not.
What if we... Yeah. I was gonna say, what if we go in and then tell him that he can't leave?
I have no desire to bring this guy into the palace and then try to discern whether he's going to be of any use to us or help to us.
Yeah, let's find out first, and
Okay.
we'll treat him as a prisoner if he seems pretty useless.
So in the guise of the Shirai, you are then going to awaken him, presumably with...
Depending on where his hit points is, I can either wake him or I can use Spare the Dying.
Okay, sure. That's fine. All right. So yeah, you can just wait until he wakes up on his own. Okay. Sorry. I was about to sneeze.
And now it's time to camp.
Yeah. All right. So you awaken the prisoner. You slap him awake or whatever. And as he sort of groggily comes out of it, you can see that he is malnourished and he has been roughed up. There are bruises on his green-yellow skin, and like one eye almost kind of looks a little swollen shut. But he peers up at all of you and doesn't say anything. Just like kind of gives you this wounded glare.
Just to be clear, who's under the effect of this scene?
All four of you.
All four of us. Okay.
We are the 3 guards, and he's the
He's the
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor, so he can talk.
I say, those friends of yours who attacked us, dog.
He glares at you and says in Gith, "Wouldn't you like to know?"
Yeah, kind of would.
Yeah, he's just sort of giving you this hateful glare. You can tell that he's been pretty roughed up by the Shirai, so doesn't seem to be terribly forthcoming at this point.
Maybe we won't take you where you're supposed to go. Maybe we'll just kill you here.
He sort of looks up at you and spits right at your feet, and he basically says, "Maybe you should take these shackles off of me and we'll see what happens."
That doesn't seem like a threat. The guy's beat to all hell.
You can tell he's obviously putting up a lot of bluster here, but yeah, because he is in no shape to fight, but he still has some spirit left.
Would there be any way I could tell if he was Shasal-Kul? Like, is there like a phrase or something I could...
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely identifying phrases that they use.
Okay.
You would know some that you've been told to use in the past. Not speaking the language, though, you can't really communicate them directly to him.
Right.
But, well, I mean, you can, but you don't really have the context around it.
Right.
But yeah, you know if you basically the crow flies west at midnight kind of phrases that the Shasal-Kul use to identify themselves.
Remind me who the Shazakul are.
They are the rebel faction that are opposing the Lich Queen's supposed ascent to godhood.
No relation to the Shazal or no, that's all. Never mind.
Anyways,
I'll go ahead and say one of the phrases.
okay. The words don't really have much meaning to you, but
Yeah.
you recognize basically what it's saying. It's something along the lines of, I will serve the true leader of the Githyanki until the day I die, or something like that, right? And basically, you can tell it's clearly a reference more to Gith than to Vlaakith. And when you say this to the guy, you're saying it, and you know it's in the sort of weird accented, badly broken Gith language. But when you say it, his eyes sort of flick towards you, and he narrows his one good eye, and he says to you, but you're the only one that can understand him. He says to you, "Where did you hear such a thing?"
So I clearly don't recognize the return thing,
Right,
so I kind of
yeah.
look over it. What do you say?
He wishes to know where you heard it. Stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
right,
have
you can
comprehend
understand
language
it.
and stuff. You can understand.
Does he understand when Bathos says he wishes to know where you heard it?
No, you're probably speaking in common, right? Yeah.
He doesn't seem to understand Bathos.
Perhaps we should He appears to be on our side.
Yeah, maybe we should just level with him, and if he turns out to be somebody who doesn't want to play ball, we'll get rid of him.
I say to him, he learned it from Zetcher when he sent us on this mission.
He's looking at you sort of doubtfully at this point. You can see that some of the just knee-jerk reaction hate has faded from his eyes. And he's got this doubtful look on his face as though he doesn't quite understand why the guys who have kicked the crap out of him and dragged him here to the Palace of Whispers would suddenly reveal themselves. But you definitely see that he is a bit confused. And when you say that, he says... I don't know anyone named Zetcherer, which is clearly, like, you know 100% that's a lie, because even just like random Githyanki pretty much know who Zetcherer is.
Ask him if the shackles that bind him prevent him from teleporting.
Do the shackles that bind you prevent you from teleporting?
You know that they do. He's really confused at this point.
Let's drag him over to the bodies and just let him see.
So I'm probably strong enough. I just pick him up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's in bad shape too. He's been clearly malnourished.
I kind of drag him over and show him the dead Chirai Inquisitor.
All right, now he's really confused because basically you're showing him your own dead body, as far as he can tell. And he sort of glances back at you and says, "What sorcery is this?"
Indeed, it's an illusion.
I'll make an illusion of another one of him, just standing there.
Okay. He's a bit taken aback, and he says, you can see the wheels are sort of turning in his head, and he says, "So you're the ones that attacked them, the Inquisitor. Zetcherer sent you?"
Yeah.
And even you two can recognize the name Zetcherer when he says it.
Yes.
Zetcher.
He looks at you like, he says, "For what purpose? To rescue me? I had not thought the General would consider me so valuable."
Let's face it, your general is an asshole. But he didn't send us to rescue you. That's just a happy side effect.
Tell him we're on a suicide mission. Come on.
It means sudden death. Come along.
You've been invited.
We're assassins. We've been sent to slay Blakith.
And he sort of looks thoughtful and says, "I had no idea that the plans were so far in motion. Well, take these shackles off of me then."
It would better fit the illusion for you to have them until we are inside.
I repeat that in Gith.
Okay. He's just like, "Oh, okay." He looks at you doubtfully and he says, "You want me to go chained in there?" He's pretty much dealing straight with you at this point because you're the one that's actually speaking to him in his language.
Think about it. Would that help us? Yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Are you interested in doing your duty to the Shasakul, or are you interested in freedom only?
At the mention of duty, you see that he goes from looking doubtful to a bit of resolve crosses his face, and you can see that he is rather quickly transforming, and that some of his sort of hate and spite is slowly becoming more like drive, and there's a glimmer in his eyes that looks like maybe you might be reawakening, some hope for him. And he says, "I will do my duty, but I am not part of Zetcherer's plan. You were not sent here to find me, obviously. How do we know that I won't ruin things?"
I doubt that a group of Inquisitors arriving with a prisoner will be less suspicious than a group of Inquisitors arriving empty-handed.
He sort of nods slowly. He says,
I mean, more suspicious.
"I see the wisdom in your words. Why don't you go ahead and give me a charisma check to see how well you convince this guy to go along with your plan."
I look over to where I say, "Wait, suicide mission?" What?
1.
1A.
I'll use my inspiration die. Okay, 7.
Okay. All right. Give me that die back. All right. Okay, so you you basically have been talking to this guy, and you've appealed to his sense of duty, which is obviously putting some more drive back in him.
Okay, so then what I'd like to say, if it looks like there's any doubt in him, when I say that, I would also say, or we can just kill you here.
And so we go to threats, eh? All right, so he, you can see the resolve is starting to be rekindled in his eyes, but he looks doubtful about a plan that would see him going into the palace still shackled, and he
Just
kind
because
of
he's smart.
and he kind of shakes his head, even when you say that you could just kill him now, and he says, "If you are truly agents of Zetra, you will not kill me, but instead let me go. I have much to report to the general on the Chirai's activities." And he sort of looks down at himself and he says, "Let us face it, I would be little good in a fight, especially not so bound. I have hardly anything left in me."
We don't technically need him. I was just going to make an illusion of him anyway, if he had died in the fight. So we could leave him behind. However, I kind of still prefer to have him just as a distraction if we want one. So I'm inclined to offer him the key and then let him have him still come with us.
Do we have the key to his manacles?
Yeah, on the Inquisitor you would have found
Yeah,
it.
I have it.
Or you could create false manacles out of magic.
That's a little hard to do.
You can create an image of all of us and not a couple of manacles?
As a separate piece, this it would have to be minor illusion, and yeah, that's it. I'd have to move it slower, and it's
Magicy wagicy.
yeah,
It would be tougher to pull off convincingly
yeah.
with minor illusion. So what's the plan? Are you gonna let him go, or are you gonna keep him?
I have no problem letting him go. We could say we were attacked and
I think we just say we killed him
we killed him.
because I don't want.
I assume you guys are speaking in common now, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I can.
Yeah.
When we,
I don't want dead
we
weight
have to
with
have
us.
the body, blah blah blah
We
blah.
don't have to have the body. We're Githyanki.
We'll just say we
We
killed
just
him.
left the body. I mean, why wouldn't we just leave the body?
We left it. The body is assigned to others.
I don't think they just leave bodies lying around in the middle of their cemetery. I don't know.
No, we don't have to say it was a cemetery.
Well, I should know whether or not they would.
In the necropolis, no. Everything would be interred.
Yeah, but no, couldn't we just have said we killed him while interrogating him, and we were?
Oh, you're talking about once you get inside?
Yeah, once we get inside, we just say, if they ask us,
You can say anything you want to, man.
I say we just say we
The
killed him
problem is
during
they might know
interrogating.
that he was on the way.
Yeah, that's my concern is that they know that we're coming and that we're gonna end. If we arrive empty-handed,
Well, perhaps we could get one of the other bodies and sling it over our shoulder and carry it like it's him. One of the dead ones.
in this
At
case,
this point, the Githyanki sort of pipes up and he says, "It seems to be taking you an awful long time to decide whether or not you'll let me go."
Actually, we've decided not to let you go.
He sort of frowns at that and he says, "So I'm to be your prisoner then, or your victim?"
You're our prisoner for now. Unless you'd rather be a victim, that can be arranged as well.
If it's all the same to you, I'd rather live, but I'd rather go free.
Well, you see, one of those is an actual choice. The other one is not your option.
He frowns and he says, "This is no way to treat another agent of the Chassal-Fu."
I say, well, quite frankly, bleep, the Shao-Sao-Cool.
Yeah, agents not so much. We're sort of
Freelancers.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, okay. All right, so what's the plan?
He probably understood me saying Shao-Sao-Cool, but
Yeah.
he didn't
Not-
understand that.
yeah, I think we get him and hustle him in front of us and
Okay.
try and get in the place.
All right, so you're basically going to force this guy to go into the palace with you against his will because he doesn't want to go in shackled. and then deal with whatever you come across inside.
I also say it is to your advantage to just work with us for as long as we need you. Then we will let you go.
Besides, we may need the manacles. I assume you're communicating that.
Secondarily, I assure you that if, due to anything that you do, we are put at a disadvantage, you will be the first to die.
He looks at you sourly and says, "Oh, I have no doubt of that. But I seem to have little choice at this moment. If you are truly going to slay the Lich Queen, I will not interfere to your detriment."
We only need a moment. Is there going to be a way to get back out for him? Because if we could let him go when we arrive, if he can get back out, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no idea.
Because all we really need is the momentary distraction of appearing like we aren't who we aren't, and then.
Yeah.
Do we know the properties of silver swords?
You know that the. Well, let's see. What do you know?
This is related to what we were just talking about, because I'm wondering whether we want
why
to
don't
grab a
you
weapon for
give me an intelligence check
I'm carrying the silver sword.
recall magic lore if you can,
I think maybe that's something I could do.
or to recall planar lore if you have that as well. Either one of those.
That'll be a 22 then for planar.
I'll do a planar war tip if I need.
On this specific issue, I got a. Well, I'm not asking the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he didn't
what-
ask the question out loud, right? He
I
just.
forgot how the
plus 10.
plus.
I mean, I would probably
31.
Okay, great.
pass that.
So you know that silver swords are typically magical. They're usually more or less just weapons with enhancement bonuses, effectively. So plus 1 to hit and damage. But you know that they're also handed out to the Githyanki that distinguish themselves in some way. So they're sort of a badge of honor. They are treasured and rarely parted from by the Githyanki. So basically, taking a Githyanki silver sword from him is a difficult thing to do, and they're never like traded away or sold or anything like that.
Turns out if they're dead, though, pretty easy.
And so that was you were learning planar lore there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And did you make the check for magical lore?
Yeah, 31.
Okay. You know that each silver sword is typically keyed to an individual. I mean, you know all that stuff, but you also know that each individual sword is typically keyed to the person that wields it. Not like magically bonded, but more like it was created specifically for that Githyanki. So there's typically something like a mark, or just even like the way that the grip on the sword is made, that is sort of made for an individual Githyanki. You also know that Githyanki Gishes also have a fair amount of a fair number of spells that they use their silver swords to cast. Sort of like how a wizard would cast with a wand, a Gish can use the silver sword as basically an implement.
I don't really
So-
think that one of that seems pertinent.
Yeah, I just was going to mention we might as well grab some of the clothes and gear from the other guy to bring along if we want to give this fellow here something to get out once we're inside. Seems right to equip him and make him look like one of them.
I also have.
That's fine. So you can strip some things off of the bodies, and no problem.
Okay.
I do have Speak with the Dead if we want to go talk to the Inquisitor. I don't know if
Would we learn anything else that we don't
Is this
already know?
an issue though where you'd be talking to him and he'd be talking back to you and Githyanki from the grave, and then
Then you didn't.
Well, he spoke Common,
yeah, true.
so I'm hoping he would.
So I'd just like to say, Ale, that was information we could have used a few minutes ago.
A little late to the party here.
Let's just fly by the seat of our pants. No, we should probably do that.
Okay. All right. So you can go cast Speak of the Dead on the Inquisitor. All right.
Yep.
What is the casting time on Speak of the Dead?
10 minutes. Casting time is 1 action.
Okay.
Duration is 10 minutes, and I can ask up to 5 questions.
Great. All right. So you cast Speak with Dead on the body of the Inquisitor, and what are your questions?
My first question is,
What is your name?
Were you expected with the prisoner?
Yes.
So that's 1. 2 is, who were we to give the prisoner? Who were you to give the prisoner to?
Zamgris.
Where is Zamcris?
Yep. Where is Zamcrest in? Specifically in the Citadel, where is Zamcrest? None of this.
Are we gonna meet him? I don't know.
The body tells you the will grinder.
Sounds like a good place.
I'm sure those
It's fun. It's like a fun house.
Okay,
Grinding your will.
Anybody?
To
Is there any way out from where we will go in?
Do I have to ask it, or can you?
You have to be the one to ask
Is
it.
that what we want to go with? I feel like it's like Family Feud. We're huddling around. Okay, what's the next question?
how many did we get? How many
We got
questions?
5, and I've asked
So
3.
I want to know if where we go in, can somebody immediately leave from that position?
Okay, so I'm going to ask where to leave or how to leave.
No. If there's a way out, like where we're going to go in, if somebody can also go out that way, basically.
All right. So if we where we enter, is there also a way out, and by what means would we need to use to exit?
There is no exit there.
Okay. No.
I heard him. Computer.
We got one more question. You'd be a terrible one to ask him. Is what should I ask you?
What's your favorite color?
What's your perfect Sunday?
Maybe if Zamcris is going to meet them when they arrive, or if.
Well, do we want to
What,
know
no?
like?
Matt? No, Matt.
If he describes the place to us and we don't know how to find the damn thing once we're in there, then I will have a better chance of teleporting us there.
So have him describe the location of the. Was it the
Will grinder.
The will grinder? Should I have him give directions?
Well, basically just describe the location itself. Like, what does it look like? What does it sound
Okay.
like?
Give us a complete description of it.
Yeah.
Can what does Speak with That say about like the kind of questions you can ask? Because that might be too elaborate.
It might be.
Yeah, it says the corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive.
Yeah, it seems unlikely that you're going to be able to get a lengthy description.
a
out
good
of it.
enough description out of it.
Yeah, because he sort of just told us the name of it.
The will grinder is the will grinder. We all know the will grinder. I mean, come on.
I mean, who doesn't know the will grinder? In this day and age, that's what Wikipedia is for. Anyways,
Githopedia.
get the Wikipedia.
Can we think of anything else we would like to ask?
How about anything concerning Laketh? Would this guy know anything of that sort?
Because we're taking him
Nothing,
to,
he wouldn't
taking
be
him
able
to Zamcrest and the will grinder.
What?
And there's no exit.
What were they hoping to get out of this fellow? Nah.
Ask him if he knows the way to the will grinder.
Well,
Who are your fantasy football
Yes
picks?
or no?
You might ask him instead, what is the way to the will grinder or something like that.
Well, what I mean is like. Yeah, I mean, if we assume that he knows the way, then you could ask him what direction we should go when we arrive. I mean,
But if he doesn't know, then he'll tell us and we'll get the answer to that way as well.
right.
So we'll either get a no or directions.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I can tell that we're going to have a serious disagreement before this is over.
What is the way to the will grinder?
Says, pass through the northeastern ectoplasmic door.
It has an ectoplasmic door. It's basic get home TV. HGTV. Home get TV.
I'm gonna make a check on ectoplasmic
Alright,
doors.
that's the end of the spell.
I wanna. Do I know anything about ectoplasmic doors, forbidden lore, magical lore?
This would actually probably be planar lore.
I also have planar lore.
Okay, you can make an intelligence check. Remember, it's plus 10 for having the
Jump in on
Would planar lore just be straight plus, or do I add?
plus 10 plus your intelligence modifier.
So I just want to say that my check for the ectoplasmic door is 38.
Mine's 22.
Wow. Anybody not
How
take
do you
planar
even
lore here?
get
I don't have
38?
I roll a natural 20 plus an 8.
Oh no, I have to have
My
because I
expertise
don't have, I
die
need
plus
skills. Duh. I forgot to do 2.
All right, so
I
here's
only
the-
have 1 skill. I'm really good at it.
There's not a lot to know about the ectoplasmic doors.
know it.
They are basically these 7-foot tall oval portals that are typically used in Githyanki architecture. You know that they shed faint light and that they can be willed open by creatures with a psionic ability. You do know that trying to destroy a door, like they can be destroyed by like weapons and spells and stuff like that, but trying to do that triggers the door's defenses, causing the door to lash out at anyone that harms it.
So does that mean that we can't get through the door because we lack psionic ability?
Yeah, so we need this dude,
What our prisoner does.
and we need him to come along and be friends.
So do we need him?
Unless you want to attack doors, that seems wise.
I mean, if we want to go through quiet, we're gonna have to have this guy and relatively fast. I mean, we need this guy, and we need him to play ball. I mean, we can get,
So listen, the only way that Ozu is going to get him to play ball is basically through intimidation. So
Well, perhaps we could offer to, if he can get us in that far, then we leave him behind. That's the condition of his freedom.
He's a soldier. He'll do his duty.
well, I mean, if we can convince him of that. Crap. And we could go all the way back to to what's his name and Zitcher and be like, tell this guy to do what we need him to do.
no, I turn to the guy and say, we need to pass through ectoplasmic doors. None of us has psionic ability. You know what that means, don't you?
He nods and he says, yes, I know.
So we need you to come with us, and we need you to cooperate.
And I need you to remove these shackles.
Can we do the?
It seems as though we all have things that we need.
Are these shackles? Can we possibly do the Wookiee trick? You know, have them just not fully on, but like he could still break. Like they're just.
You could
almost-
just not clasp them, yeah.
Yeah. Should we do that?
I mean, we can. My primary fear is that we're going to give him the keys right now, and then he'll just teleport away.
Actually, maybe we do it when we get. Let's get in. Then let's tell him. We'll
You
get
do
in.
know that you cannot leave from the chamber that you will teleport into.
We can't exit.
Right.
Right,
You
that's what I
cannot
mean.
exit from the
Let's-
the chamber you teleport
I say to him, if I take your shackles off and give you the Inquisitors, and give you some of the, and promise you a weapon and equipment, I want your oath that you will aid us as long as you can.
Appeal to a sense of duty.
He sort of arches an eye at you and he says, you want my oath after you've threatened to kill me and leave me bound?
I will unbind you. But you're testing my patience. Either do your job and your duty as one of the Shasokul, or flee like the coward that you will prove that you are.
Go ahead and make a charisma check, please.
Is it intimidation, or is it, what is it?
You're not really trying to intimidate him here. You're trying to convince him, so...
10.
All right. He looks at you warily and he says, very well, take the shackles off and I'll do as you wish.
I mage hand out the keys and pass them to him.
I unlock him.
All right. He rubs at his wrists as the manacles fall away, and he says, very well,
So long,
let's go.
suckers. Have you asked him his name?
I don't care about his name.
I
No,
do.
I haven't asked him his name.
Jessica, find out his name.
What is your name?
He says, I am called
Slade.
Cyrus.
And you should find out if
His name is
Zamcrest.
Saris.
And find out if Zamcrest is what Zamcrest is expecting out of him.
Do you know what is going to happen to you here in the castle?
They were going to torture me, I know that much.
Well, they were taking you to a place called the Will Grinder.
Yeah, shakes his head and he says, we've heard tales, but we don't really know what it is.
And isn't it lucky that you're never going to find out, really? Thanks to us.
He sort of frowns a bit and he says, I wouldn't jump to that conclusion just yet. We are going there, aren't we?
Technical.
Oh, that's what I did.
All right, so you've got.
Somebody dominate this guy. Let's just get it over.
So you are taking the Inquisitor's silver sword then?
I'm carrying it because I'm disguised as the Inquisitor.
All right.
So I'm carrying his actuals.
He sort of nods toward it and says, "Do you know how to use that thing?"
No.
He says, "If the fighting starts, you'd best pass it off to me."
That's no problem, Susurrus.
He then takes a couple steps towards, or down the road, and turns back towards you, and he says, "Well, are you coming?"
He wants. Well, we can't give him armor. It's supposed to look like it. Well, he doesn't have shackles on anymore either. The hell?
No, let's do the Wookiee trick. Just tell him to just put them on, but not clasp them.
That's, yeah, I mean, if he's willing to do that, sure, let's do that.
Is he willing to do the Wookiee?
Sure, yeah, but I mean, just don't clasp him. He's fine.
Yeah.
But he will demand to have the key, though.
He can have the key.
Yep.
Sure. All right, great.
Okay.
All right, so you do the Wookiee trick, and he's basically like,
Do we have some armor for him? So we should.
Yeah, I mean, you could peel the armor off one of the.
I don't know that a prisoner would appear in armor.
I'm not saying to put it on.
Yeah,
now,
you
but
could just carry it with you if you wanted to. Yeah, no problem.
Do you wear armor, Cyrus?
He nods and he sort of points his head towards one of the Red Dragon hybrids, and he says, "Anything off of one of them will do."
I say you want to be all buddy with this guy. Why don't you heal him?
I can't heal him yet.
I mean,
He needs to look beaten.
It's fair.
Can't have a healthy. I mean, we can heal him once we're in.
All right, so you guys head towards the statue of Gith.
or I could give him this hat of disguise and he could look beaten and not be beaten. In fact, he could look like he does right now and not be shackled or beaten. In fact, he could be wearing armor and not be shackled or beaten.
If you do what?
I give him this hat that I'm wearing.
Because you have a hat of disguise?
I do.
Oh. Well, sure, fine.
Okay.
Sorry, Sarah.
having inadequacy issues.
What? How wounded is he?
He is effectively at 1 hit point. You can tell he could take up quite a bit.
I gotta.
So I should chastise myself for information we could have used.
That's been useful.
Why don't we do the Wookiee trick? Why don't we use my hat of disguise?
So I'll cast Cure Wounds, but at a 4th level.
Okay, sure.
So if I'm doing that right.
So I guess we'll take back the
2d6
shackles.
for each level. All right, so I'm gonna do this as
If
a
we're actually
4th
giving him
level.
the hat of
So
disguise, that makes sense.
Yeah.
let's see,
You let him wear the hat?
that'll be
So what,
13.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta write this down. Math is hard.
Okay. Do you want me to roll it?
How high?
I have a lot of dice right here. Do you want me to roll it?
No, I'll work on my math.
Okay, so you're gonna give him the hat of disguise so that he can look beat up and everything.
Yeah, and so that he can wear his armor. And
Sure, no problem.
I can have an illusory sword. He can have the sword.
Done and done.
Does 48 do good for him?
That is fantastic. He's thrilled with that.
Yeah, and we'll take back the shackles and the key.
Okay,
we
great.
want the shackles and the key.
No problem.
Why don't you hang on to those? Can you write them down?
Yes.
Now we
those
shackle him.
those are important because, as you know, they do function as a dimensional anchor to prevent them from teleporting. So you might
In
need those.
this internet?
I say to Cyrus, so how's that? Do you feel a little bit better now?
He looks a lot better, and he nods and he says, "You are clearly holding up your end of the bargain. I will hold up mine."
Eventually.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize that we got off to a bad start. Not really.
He actually gives you, or do you not say that, or you do say that?
I do say that.
Okay. He gives you a gracious nod when you say that.
So the last session, I picked up an amulet with a symbol of Cherai on it.
Yeah, the Shirai Inquisitors.
Okay, and so
It's just like a symbol.
I can. It just doesn't seem magical or
No.
Okay.
No.
And there was a robe that was special,
No,
or
it was just his robe.
Okay, so that's just costuming.
Yep,
We can leave
exactly.
behind. Okay. I'll erase it then.
All right.
I'll take the chair I robe and
Sure. Go for it.
amulet.
From your
So-
sheet to mine.
So we're basically going in under the guise of taking this prisoner But we want to get to the palace library and destroy the Lich's phylactery?
Phylactery, that's right.
Is that actually our mission? Or do we need to do anything about
You kind of have
Xanthus?
multiple missions.
Why do we have to actually go to the wheel grinder?
We don't.
We don't. That's
Okay.
just where we would theoretically
It's just the
be.
one place we know to go.
Well, and you in particular have a reason to go there because you're after Zampress.
Shut up!
Well, all right, everyone else cover your ears while I talk to Matt out of character. Right?
You had implied you had something else you wanted to do in there.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
Okay. All right. So you guys have taken care of Susurrus and everything. Is there anything else you want to do before you head to the statue?
I think we are.
Super. Awesome. I'm trying to rush his head because we've been playing for an hour now.
1 hour later,
An hour later, you
interrogation
guys
is
have met
done.
one character.
Preparations in the
Hey, we
preparation.
were role-playing people.
That's
Yes.
right. Exactly. So you
Welcome
guys.
to D&D.
You guys approach the great statue of Gith. A 100-foot tall statue of polished obsidian stands before the Lich Queen's dark palace. The statue depicts a female Githyanki knight bedecked in ornate armor clutching a gigantic greatsword, its blade fashioned from gleaming silver. The sword's point hovers 10 feet above the ground, directly over a 10-foot diameter circular symbol carved into the statue's base. You were told previously by Zetcher that you should stand at the base of the statue, speak the name Gith, and you would be teleported into the Palace of Whispers. Is there any reason why you guys don't want to do that very thing?
I go into the circle, wait for everybody, and say, Gith.
All right.
Gather your party
You
before
speak the
venturing
name.
forth.
There is a bright flash of light as teleportation magic flares around you, and you appear in a room inside the Palace of Whispers. This 30-foot square, 50-foot high room holds no furnishings. 5 oval portals glow in the darkness. Each portal is filled with a translucent, rippling barrier of ectoplasm coated in writhing strands of ectoplasmic mucus. Horrible whispers call out to you from the walls, floor, and
some people
ceiling,
in packs that
but
have
you
that.
cannot discern what they're saying. I would like all of you to please make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, one of those.
Rodney.
Yes. Yes, in room 2.
Hmm.
17.
Oh, awesome.
13.
14.
14.
Okay. So only Vathos and unfortunately Saris are going to be affected by this. The whispers that you hear coming from the walls, floor, ceiling, everywhere around you are so disturbing that they seem to worm their way inside your mind. You now have a new flaw called Unnerved by Susurrus. Susurrus, however you want to pronounce that. Susurrus. That is a flaw just like your character flaw that can come into play at any given time. Additionally, you can see that Saris is equally unnerved by the whispers.
Hold it
Someone
together.
hear something?
The rest of you are a little discomforted by the sound, but it does not harm you in any way. Saris, you can see, is he does not like the sound of it, and he is he just looks completely uncomfortable and looks around in all directions. And says, "Well, now what?"
Northeast? Can we sense which one is north? Oh, well, I got stone cutting, so I should be able to tell.
Yeah, you can get a general direction. I mean, you guys are on a floating.
We're not on a planet.
Well, yeah.
And they're like, where's
There is
northeast?
no north.
But like when I said northeast, let's just assume that he was able to describe the direction that you need to
Okay.
go, right? Yeah, so you can basically orient yourself so that you know which portal he's talking about.
Assuming
So I
there are
say
no
since we know
signs
which
that
way to
say
go
like
to get to the wheel grinder, we go to the wheel grinder and then we take the guy there and force him to tell us how to get to the library.
I was gonna
who?
say there aren't any
Press?
like signs that say like library or anything over it.
In fact, what you see here, this is
it's long
clearly
parade.
just an arrival chamber because there's no adornments or anything in here. But the 5 ectoplasmic doors leading off in different directions give you the impression that you've arrived in a place where basically people go to.
Not a helpful concierge.
No,
direction.
no. And there are no creatures in here actually.
Welcome to the Palace of Whispers. How can I help you, sir? No.
I do not understand the words.
That's creepy. Let's go this way.
Basically, this room would also be pitch black, if it weren't for the fact that each of the 5 doors casts a little bit of light that spreads out, but like right in the middle of the room is actually kind of darkened, shadowy area. So you get the impression that there's no like ambient light in here other than what's provided by the doors.
Yep, let's head out. Let's head through the
To the will grinder.
to the will grinder.
Do it.
All right, so you guys want to go through the northeastern door? All right, Barth will be moving into area 10. All right, so
We use this knowledge to our advantage.
you guys move up to the.
There are 9 other rooms at least.
You guys move up to the ectoplasmic door, and you see that Susurrus sort of steps forward, and he like glances at the door, reaches out and holds a hand out toward it, and gets sort of a strange look on his face before the door basically parts before him. It kind of peels back as the ectoplasm recedes into the door's frame. I mean, it's oval door, so recedes to the door's frame, leaving an opening that goes straight ahead for about 10 feet before turning directly to the north. You can also hear, as soon as that door opens, all of the sound from beyond is immediately released, and it's pretty loud, so obviously these doors block all sound. But you guys can hear a horrendous grinding noise coming from inside the chamber, and it is occasionally punctuated with the sound of tormented croaks.
They're murdering frogs.
There's a lot of them, maybe.
Bullywugs.
That's totally racist, what you just said.
Those damn frogs. I will
Species.
proceed through the opening and
Okay.
start down the
All right.
corridor.
Are you making any efforts to be stealthy?
I don't think we need to.
Hold on.
Do we have anybody?
What bothered you, Saris? What was your reaction about?
He sort of looks at you and offers a tight smile, and he says, "This palace is built for the Lich Queen and her servants. It has certain properties that I can take advantage of." And when he says that, he lifts about a foot up off the floor and hovers there.
You're making me a little uncomfortable because you said the Lich Queen and her servants.
He nods and he says, "Yes, all Githyanki are the Lich Queen's servants."
Okay. Sounds we've said.
Good recovery.
Yes, comrades, yes. Hey.
We buy that story. All right.
I'm not trying to be stealthy, unless
Okay.
we are all stealthy and I don't see a
All right.
reason.
We're supposed to be here, so we shouldn't
All right,
have
Yeah,
to.
we're supposed to be here.
We shouldn't look suspicious.
Okay, so you guys go moving into this down this corridor. This corridor goes about 20 feet to the north before you can see more. It opens up into a large chamber. The ceiling rises to a darkened height of about 50 feet, but drops to a height of only about 30 feet in the middle. This lower area is roughly octagonal and supported by 8 obsidian pillars. The middle of the central octagon is filled with a 6-foot wide cylinder of silver light swirling with tendrils of black energy. The grinding noise comes from the cylinder of light, and the horrible croaks emanate from a large toad-like creature trapped within. 8 figures encircle the cylinder. 6 of them are Githyanki armed with silver swords and standing in silence. The 7th figure is a Githyanki with no legs who wears a red cloak and clutches a staff capped with a flickering diamond. The 8th figure, a large spherical creature with multiple eye stalks and
Jesus
encased in armor with 4 mechanical arms protruding from its underside, floats near the legless Githyanki.
Wait, it's got what underneath?
It is an armored beholder. I'll just tell you.
It's a beholder with an armored body.
And it's got these 4 mechanical arms that extend from it.
Are there any exits?
It's like we all cautiously start backing away.
So there's the way behind you. Once you've gotten up to the point where you can see into this interior chamber, you can see that it looks like there's a similar hallway about 30 feet to the east, as though, and I'll basically give you a little drawing of the shape of the room. Basically, you guys are coming in down here. So you're like coming in a door down here, and then you can see there's like another hallway over this way. The room is sort of vaguely shaped like this, and this is where the whatever. And so this is the obsidian pillars, and the cylinders right here in the middle. And you can see, like, you guys have gotten to about here, and you can see that there is another hallway off to the other side.
About how far away, I'm sorry, was that? In the middle of the room?
Say again?
How far away is the middle of the room?
About 30 feet away from you right now.
Right, I cast a spell.
Okay, that's where we're gonna roll initiative then.
Wait,
I was about to say we just stride past them and go down the hall, but that works
Well,
too.
they're close enough that like they definitely see you
We
guys.
also need to see what the spell is.
But we look like
but we look
Githyanki.
like Githyanki.
Boom!
All I gotta say is that spell better be Cloud Kill.
I rolled an 8. I'm prepping. I got maybe Hold Monster, Flame Strike,
I pull out
Destruction. I'm ready to
my
start.
trident.
Fish boy. What are you, Aquaman? Great. There's no fish here.
Speak to fish.
Rodney, I'd like to quit.
Are you
Sounds good.
quitting this game?
Alright, 1 second. Let me finish.
I wanted
adding
a
my-
weapon that did consistent damage, or 3 different weapons that do different damage types but have consistent damage dice, so I didn't have to remember the different weapons. So, Trident, Morningstar, or no, not Morningstar, Flail, and
DC of
Longsword.
my spells.
Okay.
So when do you pick which one to?
I always use the Trident if I have a choice.
I was getting ready to just say, we're here with the prisoner, but all of a sudden Valthos goes,
But we don't know what Falthos is. He
I'm
might
really
just
nervous.
He might just be casting like friendship.
He might be casting friendship.
That's true.
That would be nice.
I wager everything on that if I were you guys. That seems like a good plan.
Or he's doing fireball.
Alright, let me roll initiative for Susurrus here.
Ever had this warm, cuddly friendship spell?
Maybe he's doing
Ever-
The lesser known Evard spells.
Everard's tentacles of free hugs.
BB's insulting finger. It's my favorite cantrip.
Okay, Blemo. Yeah, that's his character name, by the way.
Oh, actually, we don't even know your name.
I'm gonna assume you introduce your character.
The nameless stranger.
That's going to be a 20, or sorry, 10.
10? Okay.
I'm calling
Ozu?
him Tab.
Ozu?
Blamo.
Ozu?
17.
17.
Your name is Blamo?
Ailforged.
Blamo?
Blamo.
8.
Alright,
MC
Valthos.
Blamo.
18.
Just Blamo.
Alright.
Captain Blamo. Well, former
You
Captain
know
Blamo.
what? Don't add the captain.
I had
It's not open.
an incident with my ship, so I don't have it so much anymore. So I'm more of a former captain.
MC kills a lot.
I had, as I was saying before, a big
Okay,
metal shoes
Valthos,
to
you
fill.
actually roll the highest initiative, so you will go first and cast your spell.
Right. DC 18 Wisdom Save by Zamkress.
Okay. What spell are you casting?
Tap the soul.
Obviously, we have hit a nerve with Trapped soul. Jesus.
Okay, it's a wisdom saving throw, you said? And DC 18?
Remind me not to get on his bad side.
That looks like a natural 20.
That's not
Fuck. Sorry.
Who do you think you
join us now.
Wyatt? Come on.
Who are you, James?
All right.
That guy.
So he saves. Is there any?
Like a sailor, that
Is
guy.
there any effect on a save? Or,
Let's see. I don't think there's an effect on a save.
I think Vathos has this. We can just proceed along.
All right. So you cast the spell, and he shrugs it off. It washes off. And, do you want to move or anything?
Does he actually even notice?
Oh yes.
Was it that much of a
Oh,
save
yes.
that
Oh,
he-
sorry, I meant to cast
Yeah.
my healing spell.
I had to pull out a 1000 GP diamond to try that. So
Okay.
Is
So
it consumed?
no.
Oh. Can you
what
cast it
is
again?
your? Or sorry, do you want to move or anything?
What do I want to do?
Was that the epic fail of your career?
Yeah, it was. Right.
This is going to be
Do you want to move or
As
anything?
a free action, I would like to say, WTF, Valthos. Except I don't say WT or
I want to banish myself, but I can't because I know that Celestial Elemental or Fiend.
You want to get out of dodge, right? Okay.
It's like, oh, I failed. Bye.
So can I move on?
Yeah, move on.
All right. Zamprus turns as the spell bounces off of him and retaliates with a spell of his own. He casts Chain Lightning. First, he will target Vathos as the primary target, and then 3 secondary targets. Let's see here. He has you 3 plus Susurrus, so let's see who escapes his secondary targeting. So Susurrus will be 1. So Ill-Forged will not be targeted by this. I would like all 3 of you guys to give me dexterity saving throws, please.
I just love the indomitable ability.
21 for me.
23.
18.
Okay, so nobody got less than a 13, right?
Right.
Okay. So you guys are each going to take 17 lightning damage.
Is that half damage?
It is,
Save?
yes.
That means I take
you,
9.
you successfully saved, yep. And let's see how Susurrus does. Oh, Susurrus saved as well, so he's going to take that much as well. So. And he's already taken that much. Okay. Uzu.
We had this
So, well, actually,
we have this
so-
elaborate disguise up, and we just walk in and you go,
So Zamkrus casts his spell, then he immediately moves, hovering to flee around the corner, basically headed down this direction.
Fudgems.
Ozu, you are now up.
so what are my targets?
So right now, you can see that there are 6 Githyanki with silver swords standing around the column of light in the middle. There is a beholder in metal armor at the back, basically at the back of that circle, on the far side of the cylinder from you, and you can no longer see Zamkrus.
Is there any way? Can I discern any way to cut off this pillar of light?
Let's see here. You don't see anything that looks like a mechanism right now. Yeah, you don't see anything that looks like a mechanism, but you also don't see, like, the cylinder is not physical, right? It is just pure light. You believe that things can pass into and out of the cylinder freely, but whatever, like, the toad-like creature that you see inside there is clearly not able to move out of its own will because it is giving off, like, pained croaks.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to allow that thing to escape.
I have Earthquake.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Just blow it up.
I'm going to run to the where he fled,
Okay?
to the corner there.
All right.
Look around. Do I see him?
Yes, so you move basically up against the wall over to where he fled. You can see that he's actually already moved down just around the corner. So basically right as you come around the corner there, you can see him just past you around the corner.
I attack him.
All right. So you're going to attack Zamkrus?
Yes.
Is Zamkrus alive as opposed to a lich, or is he a lich?
You believe that he's...
Just
Yeah, you don't think that he's undead.
I got a 16
Okay.
and a
So-
17
So you're slashing at him with your short swords?
with my rapier and my short sword.
Rapier and short sword, okay. Yeah, those are both hits.
So he takes 12 damage.
12
Yep.
total?
That's total because I don't have any sneak attack or anything.
Ah, right. Okay, got it. All right, you slash at him twice, and he. Let's see. Oh, you speak Gith, so he actually croaks out a few words. He's like, "Protect me, you fools! The Lich Queen must be warned. There are traitors in here."
That's why I say, see this guy right here? He needs to die.
All right, Blemo.
If I move away, it's gonna leave you kind of unprotected, but you also just did something really stupid. So I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna go after Zamkrest is his name.
Yeah.
Swapping weapons as I'm moving from my trident to my longsword to try to hamstring him. So I'm gonna make 3 attacks against him.
Okay.
And hoping for a crit. Got one. Okay, so one of those attacks is only going to be 13.
That's a miss.
And I have a 25.
That's it.
And then I have a crit.
Okay.
I'll roll damage in a second, but notably on a crit with my slashing weapon, his speed is going to drop to 0 until the end of his next turn.
Okay.
Dumb question. If he's floating, though, does that...
That's a good point.
Does that
well,
affect him?
it says hamstringing or otherwise impairing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a good point.
He bubbles in the air.
What weapon are you using?
Longsword.
Longsword. Okay. Well, it could be that like you basically jabbed it through his clothing and pinned him or something like that.
All right, that's going to be 10 and 23 points of damage.
Okay. Got it.
Is that with the quick?
All right. He shrieks in pain as you stab through him. Susurrus, on the other hand, basically looks at the two of you as you just rushed off, and then he looks at you, and he just sort of shrugs like, "What the hell, man?" Like all that subtlety just gone. Right? He actually lifts up off the ground and shoots across the room, flying towards the 6 Githyanki that are surrounding the cylinder. He will actually just charge up to one and attack him. Oh, that will not hit. That might. Yep. 4, 9. Okay. So Susurrus flies across the room, and he basically just like lifts up off the floor and shoots across the room, sword extended, slashes at the one of the Githyanki who parries the first blow, but he does manage to score a slash across this Githyanki's chest. Elforged, you are up.
I also forgot to roll my extra crit die, so he takes another 7 points of damage.
Got it.
I have a question with spells.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a cleric, 17th level, I have 1 9th level spell.
Yep.
But then in addition, do I have my 2 domain spells? So do I actually have 3
No,
9th level spells?
they are prepared.
They're prepared.
But you don't get to cast extras.
So I really only have 1 9th level.
Yes.
One spell slot or 1 casting
Okay.
level.
Your
but-
domain spells are always prepared, though.
Okay. How bad do we think this Beholder is? Is it like hold monster level? Like I should blow my 9th level spell?
I wouldn't play your 9th level spell.
Yeah, we still have to fight and kill Lich Queen,
Okay.
in fact.
Is it okay if I excuse myself for a minute? Actually, should I stay?
No, you must stay.
All right, that changes what I was gonna do. I'm trying to decide if I should. I think I got a flame strike.
I'm gonna jump in.
All right, I'm gonna drop flame strike on these guys.
Okay.
So my range is 50 feet. Am I within? 50
Oh yeah. Plenty. You're within plenty of range.
Okay, so if I have a 10-foot radius and I want to catch the Beholder, how many other people can I catch in there?
I would say you can catch one other one plus the Beholder, or you could catch 3 of the.
I want the Beholder and one of the other guys.
Okay, sure, no
All
problem.
right, so I conjure Flame Strike. I call it down to blast, catching those in the blast. They need to make a Dexterity saving throw.
All right. So the Githyanki that you'll get is going to get a 20, which is probably a successful save.
I believe
And
so.
This is another one for the Beholder. Wow, I rolled a natural 2, so he's going to fail that one.
Okay.
So the beholder fails, but the Githyanki succeeds as he leaps out of the way.
All right. So now I've got to roll. Where my d6 is. 2. I need one more. So let's see. So on a failed save, a creature takes 4d fire and 4d6 radiant.
Okay.
So for the fire, we get 15.
Okay.
And for the radiant, we get, ooh, nice, 22.
Okay.
And on a successful save, half.
Oh, that was, okay, I got it.
So those two get
right.
added together. It's fire and
Right,
radiant.
Right.
Sorry.
Sure.
I think there was a 15 and 22.
Yep, got it.
I don't add any modifiers to that, I believe, so. All right, flame strike. Kaboom.
All right, so a swirling column of flame and radiant energy bursts up, searing the beholder, who howls angrily in pain.
I would like
That's an angry
to.
howl from a beholder. You like that?
Now, I would like to move.
Okay.
I want to start heading around the corner.
Okay.
Now, am I able to also throw a hammer?
No,
Or
you
is it
use your
spells
action.
my action.
You
Okay.
use your action
So then
cast.
I want to move around and try to head after Zemprest.
Okay, great.
Because there's no way out behind me anyway.
All
Now the
right.
wizard is standing all alone.
Okay, so the 6 Githyanki will. So first of all, one of them will retaliate by attacking Susurrus. One will miss and one will hit. So Susurrus takes a little bit more damage. And 2 more will actually move up to also engage Susurrus. Actually, one of them is going to. Yeah, the 2 more will move up to attack Susurrus. Actually, they miss 4 times, well, 2 times each. All right, so Susurrus is actually fending off 3 of the Githyanki all at once. One of them, however, is going to cast a spell on the wizard, or the mage. So, about this, why don't you go ahead and give me a
You still have the
wisdom saving throw.
Sad.
13. Sand.
Oh, okay, well, you succeed. So, you feel something trying to bind you, but nothing happens. Let's see here, there are 2 more. One of them, which was hurt by your flame strike, he will actually lift up off the floor and fly across the room towards you. He moves up next to you and will attack you twice with a silver greatsword. A 27 and a 22.
Both lit.
All right. So that's 9 and 9 slashing damage. So a total of 18, or 9 for each individual one. And now the beholder. The beholder turns its body towards Vathos and opens its great central eye. All of a sudden, you feel all the magic in the area around you deaden. Then it will fire eye raids.
And you feel yourself dead.
Eye raids are fun. All right, so it's going to fire 4 eye rays. It has Susurrus. Actually, it has 4 targets, so he's going to fire 1 eye ray at each of you. So, let's see what happens with Aleforged. Aleforged. I'm just going to turn these randomly, because why not?
Yes.
Okay, Aleforged, I'd like you to make a DC or a Constitution saving throw, please.
Looks like a 19.
Okay, you are going to take 18 necrotic damage as a beam of crackling black energy shoots out of one of its eyes. Barely misses you, but it gets close enough that you feel it sapping some of your life energy. Next against Ozu, that is...
Me? It's not attacking Susurrus?
It'll go one for him too.
You said 4.
Yeah.
There's 5 of us.
No, he's in the anti-magic.
Oh.
I need you to make a Constitution saving
Zone
throw.
of happiness. Code of shame.
All right. Again, this crackling black bolt lances out towards you. Unfortunately, you don't quite get out of the way in time. You're going to take 36 necrotic damage.
I roll with its
All right.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not a half. It's not an attack.
Does not attack. That's correct. All right, Susurrus is going to need to make a saving throw. Okay. You guys see this beam that shoots out of his the beholder's eye stalk that kind of looks just like it's transparent, but it looks like heat distortion through the air. And all of a sudden, Susurrus, he's sort of got his sword level. He's fighting off these three guys. He staggers and then falls unconscious. And you hear him snoring lightly. All right. Lastly, at Blamo, I'm going to need you to. You don't have 40 hit points or fewer, do you?
No.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
That's going to be 19.
Okay. You are going to take 22 necrotic damage as a death ray shoots out of its eye and barely misses you. So it does that, and then it is going to move closer towards the bottom half of the circle here, so that it is able to basically, it is here so it can threaten the area down near this wall.
Okay.
And Vathos, you are back up.
All right, so Vathos runs after Zamkraths.
Okay, you are going to provoke from the beholder.
In the way.
It's just,
Yeah, I
what's the
don't
worst gonna
think
do?
that's meaningful.
Okay, so you're going to provoke?
Yep.
All right. As you dash by, it is going to basically, you see that one of the mechanical arms reaches up onto the underside of its armor, pulls out this longsword, and slashes at you.
Because why not?
Because Chris Perkins designed this adventure.
Right.
So that is a 16 to hit you.
That's a hit.
All right, you're only going to take 7 slashing damage, though. It's pretty meager there. All right, so you run over to the corner. So now basically everyone except for Susurrus is clustered up over here near this corner of the room. And Zamkraths is here, and then the Githyanki are all back over here in the beholder chair.
So I presume that I'm out of the anti-magic zone at this point.
Yeah, like he had it pointed in the other direction, so like you feel yourself come out of it.
All right, DC 18 Constitution save for Zamkraths.
Okay.
We get a 1.
Boogity, boogity.
Fumble.
It doesn't mean
Constitution
anything.
save, right?
Yeah.
I know, but must
No, no.
fail big.
I should roll this.
Oh wait! At the start of your next turn. No, that's after this initial effect.
All right, so I'm going to roll out in the open, which seems like it's important.
Yeah!
All right, so he only gets a total of a 9.
All right, then he is restrained as I am trying to turn him to stone.
Can you petrify him?
Yep.
All right. He's already sort of pinned by Blamo there, and you see that his body begins to turn gray and looks like dust or like pebbles are starting to fall off of his skin.
I'd like to yell. I'd like to just yell. Do you want this guy dead?
Emperor Palpatine.
No! Do not kill him!
All right.
I will leave him be.
Does anything happen at the start of his turn? Because he's going to go next.
Let's see. Restrained by this spell on us and the start of my next turn. So
Okay.
no, he's doing his own thing. He's just restrained.
Cool. Does somebody have the spells on them?
Yes. What do you need?
So Zamkraths turns towards you, and he's like all like stony, and he goes, "You will serve me."
It's that Emperor Palpatine voice.
That really hurts my throat. I wish I hadn't done that. Wow. Okay. So I would like for you to please give me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom, huh? Mm-hmm. That's where I'm lost. Oh no.
You're not a Viking there?
No. 11.
Did you get?
11.
Okay, cool. You are now charmed by Zamkraths.
Awesome.
Actually, you have advantage on the saving throw because he is fighting you. So you get to make that.
It's high numbers, not high numbers.
Okay. All right. You are charmed by him. You can't take reactions while you're charmed by him. And let's see here. He has telepathic link with you. He is going to choose your actions for you.
So I presume he does not want me to continue concentrating on this spell.
Maybe he doesn't know that. We have better plans.
I'm pretty sure that he can stop you from concentrating.
Okay, so he's going to choose your actions from now on.
Okay.
can we tell? Does he seem to be like still focused on him? I'm trying to basically read into. Is this something that I can disrupt? And I'm glad to make a check. That is what is appropriate.
Can you bring it back up? I don't think it's a concentration spell, if that's what you're asking. It looks like he just cast the spell on him, and you see Vathis' eyes sort of glaze over. Uzu, you're now up.
I think it just sort of says the target makes a new saving throw against a spell if you give it an order that is counter to its alignment, or you or your companions do anything harmful to it.
Right.
I'm gonna move so the beholder can't see me. So can I move in Zamchris's space? I mean, within his reach.
Yeah, he'll get to take a swing at you with his unarmed attack, but that's not that much of a threat.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna miss. So he sort of swats at you feebly as you go by. He makes that noise. All right, so you're running around behind Zamchris, and basically you put the floating Githyanki between you and the beholder, and plus where the beholder is situated, you can actually move back here towards the back of the room so that you have you're fully blocked from it.
Okay.
Okay. So you can do that.
And I'm going to. I guess this is somehow improvised. I'm going to hit him with the butts of my weapons because he said not to kill him.
Okay, so you're going to try and attack him, but you're not trying to kill him. All right, just go ahead and make your attacks as normal.
13
It's a miss.
and 15.
That is a hit.
That's sneak attack damage too.
Because I'm adjacent.
He takes 30 damage.
Oh. Okay. All right. You drive the like butts of your swords into his head. You see he staggers and he actually dips down towards the ground a little bit, but he is still barely conscious.
Oh, okay.
Anything else?
I don't think I can do anything else. So no.
All right, Blamo, you're up.
I am going to quickly sheath my sword, draw out a flail, and I am swinging at Zamchris, and I am not trying to knock him unconscious.
Okay.
How much damage you use? 30 to it?
30.
And I'm going to roll them individually because I may move if I can
Sure.
take him out. First attack is a 16.
All right. That would hit, but at the last second he raises his hand and casts a spell that erects a magical barrier between you and him.
Okay.
So that misses.
All right. Second attack. That'll be a 25.
That'll hit.
Only 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right. He is still up.
And the final attack. Crit. So. And I rolled max damage, so it's going to do 17 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And if that doesn't kill him, then it will knock him, it'll stun him, or he has to make a saving throw.
That does knock him unconscious, and he is dying.
Yeah, I'm not trying to knock him unconscious, so
Right.
effectively.
Right.
Was that Zamchris?
Zamchris,
Yeah.
yes.
Am I still charmed?
You are still charmed.
I will
He's
use my movement to move over and engage the beholder.
Okay.
And then I'm going to action surge and attack 3 times again.
Okay.
Ooh, not good rolls though. I've got a 15 against AC
That's a miss.
and then a 24 against AC.
That's a hit.
The other one was way too low. So that'll be 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
14, you say?
Yes. And I've used one of my 2 action surges. Arr!
All right. So you charge at the beholder and slash at him twice, or 3 times, but only one of them gets through. Let's see here. You flame struck him before. That's why I took that damage. Okay. Saris is unconscious on the ground asleep. Aleforged. Excuse me.
So is Zamcrest unconscious?
He is unconscious and dying.
I'm going to. Can I get up to where Saris is? Or am I too far?
You would have to move past the beholder at that point, but he's already made an opportunity attack, so...
So I could get past the beholder?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to charge up there and just wail at one of the...
Okay.
I'm going to go try to basically try to prevent them from killing Saris.
Alright.
I yell at them, back villains, and I will miss.
Okay.
Unless their armor class is like 12.
12 is a miss, but you get 2 attacks.
Yeah, you have 2 attacks, don't you?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Cleric.
'Cause you're a cleric.
Definitely has 2 attacks. Yeah.
But I have a shield.
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
You get 2 attacks.
That should hit. That's 24.
Okay, yep, that is a hit.
Alright, let's bring the pain.
You can attack one of the ones that was already harmed, if you want.
Yeah, preferably the one I flame struck, just
Yeah.
to finish the jerk off.
Sure.
But not impressive damage, so that'll be 12 points of damage.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you wail on this guy, and you have a flail or a...
I have a warhammer.
A warhammer. All right, so you
Argent Despair.
That's right. You have Argent Despair. That's right. Okay. So you strike this Gish, and he staggers back under the weight of the blow. But it is now their turn. So the 3 that were fighting Saris
2 attacks.
will actually turn, and the 3 of them try to swarm you. They will attack with their greatswords. 21.
Hits.
That's 9 damage. Another one swings twice, and does a 20 hit you?
No.
Okay. So one other hit for 9 more damage. And a 21 hits, you said?
21 hits.
All right. 2 more hits for 9 damage each. So you just took 36 total. All right. So these 3 basically...
Well, I got 2... Oh, he hit twice?
Yeah, the last one hit twice.
Okay.
So these 3 swarm you and basically are a flurry of silver swords, and that's all you can do to sort of bat their swords away. Let's see here.
Am I able as a minor action, could I have tried to kick Saris to wake him up?
No, you would have had to actually use your action to wake him up.
Alright.
All right, so you are. So you're taking those 3. The other 3. One of the 3 remaining ones will actually go over and grab Saris and begin slowly dragging him towards the middle, where the big toad-like creature is in the glowing.
Close enough for an opportunity attack? Because it's trying to prevent anybody from getting.
I will
Saris.
say that because he's grabbing Saris, you would be able to opportunity attack him. Yeah.
25.
Oh yeah, that's it.
We'll whop him for 17 points of damage.
All right.
Take it.
All right, you hit him, and he grunts in pain, but you see he continues to drag Saris's body away. The other 2 that remain...
I'm gonna die.
Let's see here. The 2 that remain both turn invisible. The beholder. The beholder closes his central eye and will fire more eye rays.
Oh, he wants to play peekaboo.
Yeah, well, more like he wants to actually hit you with his eye rays, and now you guys are all kind of clustered up so that he can't do that. Okay, so he's going to shoot 4 eye rays. Saris is down, so it's going to be 1 for each
For
of
what
you.
it's worth, I'm right in front of him.
Yeah.
He can't hit me.
Yeah, he can't see you, that's right. So you will get 2 of them because you're right in front of him. So we'll start with Aleforged. Aleforged, I would like for you to give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Fudge. 10.
All right, you are affected by his fear ray. You are frightened until the end of your next turn, and while you're frightened, you must use your movement to move away from the beholder. All right, next is...
That'll be 3
so
opportunity
2
attacks.
on Blamo. So Blamo, I need you to first make a dexterity saving throw.
20.
Okay. Luckily for you, the slow ray does nothing for you this time. The next one is a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
Not good, eh?
4.
All right, you were also struck by a fear ray, and you were frightened from the beholder. Must use your move to move away from him on your turn. Vathos. So you're dominated, but he is not conscious, so he cannot give you a new order. So you basically do nothing, but you keep concentrating on the spell. So
That's not how the spell works. If he can't be, if the guy isn't giving him an order, then this spell doesn't say that that's what the way it works.
I'm pretty sure
I think it did.
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
I think it did.
It says if you don't give him an order, he does.
Give the target no commands, nothing other than what it needs to survive, such as moving away from a threat.
Yeah.
That's what Dominant Monster says anyway.
Yeah, it just says. Where was it?
So that does
Oh,
raise an
it's-
interesting question about
If
whether
you
he
give
would
the
remain.
target no commands, it does nothing other than what it needs to survive, such as moving away from a threat.
So, would I still concentrate on my spell or not?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't told you to stop concentrating on it. It's not an action or anything. So yeah.
Okay.
So what happens?
He needs to make another save.
Okay.
DC
Constitution,
18,
right?
Constitution, yeah.
No, I think I failed that. You said 18, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets a 14.
Alright. What happens to him then?
So does that spell even end if he's killed?
Turns to stone.
It's for 1 hour. It did not clarify.
He would effectively at that point be charmed by a person that is no longer alive. I would have to check on that.
I think fondly of him.
Yeah.
He
I'll
For
have
an
to
hour.
check. I'll have to
Yeah,
check
for
on
an
it,
hour.
but it might be that when he dies that it ends. I'm not sure. Okay, so
He is turned to stone.
Okay.
He is stunned, has resistance to all damage, blah 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 blah. If I maintain my concentration on the spell for the entire possible duration, which is a minute, he's permanently turned to stone.
Okay. All right. So you have turned him to stone now. Zamchris is a stone, stone legless Githyanki on the floor now.
Oh, he doesn't get to keep floating?
Oh no, he fell when he went unconscious.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, he would have shattered.
no, so he thunks down. He landed on the floor. He's made of stone now. He's no longer dying, which is good because he is now turned to stone. Given that it's 10 till 4 right now, I think this might be a good time to pause. We can pick up this combat next time.
Well, I won't be here next time, so if that affects anything,
Was that the,
We have like the
Is that the
rotating
end of the
fourth
round?
character.
Well, it's the Vathos is at the top of the round, so more or less, yeah. I can just leave my initiative tracker here. We can pick up with that next time. Bart, do you want to see if there's any questions that people have that we can answer?
Greg, what character were you playing?
I was just playing a fighter with the Path of the Warrior. I had to make a character quick, so I picked the easiest thing to make. I was just playing it very flavorfully, and I had maxed out my dexterity and strength. So I was kind of being nimble as well as strong.
Okay.
And it felt awesome, actually. Like even though Indomitable is amazing, you have advantage on all saving throws, and ridiculous when you have high ability scores. But it was also just cool to be able to be like, yeah, I'm dodging the boulder.
Do we have an announced date for the next playtest packet?
No,
We do not.
Mike has just said that it is on its way.
When will then be now? Soon.
What playtest version are you using here?
This is more or less current public playtest packet with the addition of the. I'm using the interaction rules that we've been working on, and we've been using the
Should I have gotten any dice for that?
for that. Oh, maybe we'll see.
Oh!
Actually, that is a good point. So yeah, I will say that because you used your bond in a way that negatively impacted the party, because you guys charged into a room with a beholder and a bunch of Githyanki in it, you'll have your inspiration. So remember for next time, you'll have inspiration. But yeah, that's the other thing we're using is the role-playing traits and the ideal flaw and bond mechanics on top of the current public playtest packet.
I recommend you preserve your inspiration for the poison that I'm about to use on you.
How do the players feel about the high level? Too swingy, about right?
I like it. I think it feels right. I love doing like 30 damage with the butts of my swords. You know, it's like
Yeah,
We're really kind of just now getting into the dungeon too, so
Yeah, it's a little tough to judge. I mean, like, I feel like, you know, when I look at my character and I see that I have a wisdom of 11, and that's just like butt kiss with saving throws, you know, and I'm throwing things that are like DC 18, I feel kind of like, oh crap. But at the same time, that's not how it's working out. So, you know, that I seem to be facing DCs that are relevant, and I still feel cool because I'm actually using my spells. So,
I really enjoy it. Like, despite the simplicity of this version of the fighter path I chose, like I still had interesting options in terms of switching weapons to try to take advantage of the critical benefits. It went turns went really quick, I thought, for everybody, even the spellcasters.
Yeah, on my side of the screen, it's a little tougher because this is a fight with several pretty complex monsters. I mean, it's a beholder, first of all. It's 6 Githyanki Gishes, who are all spellcasters, and then Zamchris is also a spellcaster. Now, it just so happens that you guys were focused on Zamchris and take him out, so that's one bit of complexity that got removed pretty quickly. But it's I built the stat blocks for a lot of these custom, so. The Githyanki Gishes are not very complicated on purpose. They have a small number of spells they can use, but I felt like the pacing around the table was still going okay, even on my turns, and breaking up the Gish, the Beholder, and Zamchris into all different turns felt like things kept moving at a pretty good clip.
it could make it easier on you if you let us run Susurrus.
Yeah, I thought about that too. The only other thing is I'm not thrilled with just listing the spells in the monster stat blocks, so I might want some more shorthand descriptions of how the spells work. Honestly, just because I was having to look up dominate monster, and I don't love that. But at high levels, right? Like at lower levels, whatever, with Thunderwave and Magic Missile, you kind of learn what those do pretty easily. But especially with the higher level stuff, I could use some more cheat sheet.
When you guys built your characters, did you choose the ability boosts or did you go with feats?
I went ability boosts.
I have no idea if people can actually hear the questions you're asking.
You might, just might want to read.
Yeah, okay, so that question was, when these guys built their characters, did they choose feats or ability boosts?
I went complete ability boosts. I wanted the advantage. I wanted the bump in my ability scores. And I felt I would use them every turn as opposed to the feats.
I chose 1 feat and the rest ability boost, ability score improvement.
I chose all ability score boost partly out of time, and also because I wanted to see what happened if you picked both a fighter and a human, which get a lot of ability score bumps, and the result was really high stats.
yeah, I picked 1 feat.
Which feat did you take?
Toughness.
Toughness.
I mean,
I took
playing a
dual-
wizard, and I like to survive, so.
Yeah, sure.
I took dual wielder just because it lets me do more
Yeah.
damage. And stuff like that, so.
Can you tell us anything that's going into the next playtest?
We can say a little bit. Not surprisingly, the Bard is on its way, as well as multi-classing. We're spending a lot of time, or rather I should say the team is spending a lot of time right now integrating feedback based on the surveys that just went out a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we're trying to do a pretty quick turnaround for integrating feedback this time around, just because we know we're heading up into the last public playtest packet. We want to make sure and get a few things in there.
Yeah, we actually pushed back the date that we had been planning on, partly to make sure we had a chance to address a good portion of the feedback from the previous survey.
Somebody wanted to know how a beholder gets into armor.
With lots of help, actually. No, there is no picture, unfortunately, of the beholder, but
Chris
yeah,
Perkins didn't make this up. This isn't another product. It's like in a 2nd edition product or a 1st edition product.
it's possibly true.
A beholder with an armor.
Eye tyrant armor.
carriage.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was in 2nd edition in the Beholder book, Eye Tyrant, I think.
Eye tyrant.
There was actually, prior to that, I think, the dragon article where it was basically a bunch of legs that the beholder would walk around on, so that would just look like a ridiculous beholder on legs.
Or like a really giant Modron.
Yeah, all those
Tiny
things are
legs.
non-standard.
Right.
I mean, it's, it makes sense for a beholder maybe to have an exoskeleton with arms that it uses to do things, I guess, but.
Yeah, I think it's silly, but
I mean, this adventure is definitely sort of the theater of the weird. I mean, you got Yankee, and there's all kinds of different weird stuff going on with them. I mean, as Sarah showed, you can kind of just take off and fly in the palace, so that's a thing.
If you're Githyanki?
If you're psionic.
Do you guys think that
Perhaps
your
I could
characters
bring it.
fall short at high level when you choose all feats instead of abilities? Yes. And I suppose the design question is, are you considering any sort of mixture of feats and abilities?
The way
Points?
it's currently done, I don't think you could do that. Like,
You could just pick all feats if you wanted to, but they don't really stack on top of each other that much. So I'm not sure why you would want to, unless you just really wanted to do all the weird tricks with every weapon. Would you fall behind? I mean, you're talking about in most cases a difference of 10% at the most, right?
yeah.
Like, because most people are going to start with a 16 in their primary stat, and then you cap out at 20. So-
Yeah, there might be more of a difference in like some of the classes get a different number of feats, and so the difference between like a spellcaster picking ability scores or not picking ability scores might be more significant than like in a fighter where you're getting potentially 7 ability score.
Yeah, because eventually you have to basically start putting your ability bumps into your sort of second, third, fourth ability
Yeah.
scores, right? So it's you're better in saving throws and checks, but for your attacks and your output, not really that much. I mean, it's basically you're talking about a difference of 10% ish on each attack, and depending on how you. I mean, it's slightly more than that. So let's say 15% because you got the ability modifier to your damage.
and I'm not sure what it means to fall behind. I mean, there are other ways to shore up that fall behind factor in the game. Like, if you're a fighter that chose not to raise your strength, you could still find gaunts of ogre power or, something like that too.
Yeah, there's just a lot of factors that go into it. So yeah.
Yeah, for me personally, it wasn't a factor of upping the numbers for the sake of upping the numbers. It was that with the character that I envisioned, the feats that we currently have available, just there wasn't enough there for me to.
Yeah, and we just need we need more feats. Period.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's not a lot for spellcasters right now, for example.
Somebody wanted to know, Chris, if you could actually rage flip the table.
Not
I
this
could
table.
I bet you I could rage flip this table, but I won't.
Let's not find out. This table's
It's
humongous.
bolted to the floor, so he'd have to really hulk out.
Is it bolted to the floor?
No,
Yeah,
I mean Chris is a really big guy, like muscular and beefy, and if anybody at the table was going to do it, it would be him. I mean,
And
Okay.
we're about at 4, so why don't we, the last question is, when is the next live stream session going to take place?
So I don't think we're going to have one next week because our talented producers, Bart Carroll and Trevor Kidd, are out next week. But hopefully the week after that, we should be able to pick up, finish off this fight, and explore more of the Palace of Whispers.
And destroy the phylactery.
Yeah, I mean you've already done one of your personal goals, obviously.
Only about
Ish.
halfway there.
Well, I mean you've captured Zamchris now, so that was the thing you wanted to do. That's the thing you wanted to do. Is that it? All right, so that's going to wrap it up this time. Thanks everybody for joining us. As a reminder, this playtest was covered under our online playtest agreement, and by watching it, you agreed to the terms and conditions of that agreement. Those terms can be found at www.dndinsider.com.
Next, D&D Next.
D&DNext.com, sorry. There's a lot of D&D URLs. www.dndnext.com. I'm Rodney Thompson, and on the behalf of everyone here in Wizards R&D, thanks for watching, and we will see you in 2 weeks.